Bitcoin is less than 2 hours away from the monthly candle close as I record this video. And this monthly candle for Bitcoin is quite significant. It is the first monthly candle to experience price action below this orange 20-month EMA. And what we normally see from Bitcoin below the 20-month MA is that we get a lot of sideways action below this moving average. This is a true bear market signal, and it's a long-term moving average, right? And when those long-term moving averages start pointing down, it does usually mean that we have a significant amount of accumulation time ahead of us. And in this video, I want to be realistic, I want to be unbiased, and I want to be trying to figure out really what do we have ahead of us here. No hopium, no doom and gloom, just the facts. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. So what we've been talking about on this channel for the past month or so was that there was downside risk ahead of us. That was a month ago. And during this video, Bitcoin was sitting pretty much right here. And since then, we have seen that downside risk play out, going from 40K down to 25K. And after we played all that out, we got that Coinbase weekly volume, which was suggesting that this could be a bottom. And then now, just the other day, we were discussing a relief rally, and that rally is now playing out. So all the expectations we've had on this channel have followed up pretty well. So that's nice to see. I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking over at Bitcoin right now, seeing that we're getting a little bit of bullish action on those lower time frames. Looking at that 4-hour chart, we are breaking out above resistance. And if you look at even the hourly chart, it looks like Bitcoin is almost going parabolic in the short-term trend. So that's cool. We're actually starting to trend here. And in the short term, the trend is our friend until the end of the trend. So in the short term, I do expect continued moves to the upside. I will follow the trend here up. Now, if we look at the long term, what is the long-term trend? The macro trend suggests a downtrend. This is a confirmed downtrend. So while I am short-term bullish, while we were expecting this short-term rally to happen just the other day, as I explained in my last video, long-term, the story is a little bit different here, because if Bitcoin does get above, these price levels, 33,000 or so, this price level here, which is about 34,300, right? These previous wicks from earlier this year. If we pop above that, yeah, we could see some nice moves up to our downward sloping resistance, 37K or so, right? That's possible, before seeing rejection, because remember, the pressure in the market is down. We have downside pressure, and the trend overall on the macro scale is down. So we have to be very mindful of that. Though, as we talked about with that weekly volume signature, that suggests that Bitcoin could be at least somewhat close to a bottom of some kind, right? These weekly volume signatures usually act as a long-term support, right? And I mean, this, obviously, you guys know this stuff goes back in time. This stuff, long-term tops, long-term bottoms, right? It's a very effective indicator. And so it's likely that Bitcoin's at least near the bottom, but we are in this downtrend, which means if Bitcoin does come up, that downside pressure that exists right now may actually sort of hold us down. We may retest the lows again and then break out towards the end of the year. That is more so the macro view at this point before going sideways. And something about the monthly candle kind of supports this idea that we would be more so looking to be sideways before recovering in 2023. And if we hop over to the monthly chart for Bitcoin, this monthly candle here, what we usually see after breaking this 20 EMA, that orange 20 moving average, is like in 2018 when we fell below it. And if you look closely, well, actually, let's just go back to 2014. When that moving average, this goes for any asset, this isn't just Bitcoin. When long-term moving averages, after being up for so long, when they curl over and they start to point downward, that's a clear sign of a bear market. It's a long-term moving average. And what resulted after the breakdown there is Bitcoin went sideways below that 20 MA for 13 months. I made a tweet about that, right? Look at this tweet here. After breaking down below that, 13 months sideways. In the next cycle up here, after falling below this moving average, we spent 6 months below it, right? And I was saying, maybe 6 months, 13 months below it before the recovery. Again, this isn't just for Bitcoin. This is just how you read long-term moving averages. When they start to point down, it's a sign of a bear market, right? When they're pointing up, clearly it's a bull market. Pointing down, like 2018 here, we're in a bear market. We're going sideways for months before the recovery. Now let's look at Bitcoin here, where we are today. Okay, we're starting to point down, guys. This moving average was up, and just like all other bull markets, this goes for any asset. Long-term moving average now pointing down. Look at that, guys. We're curling over. Now, is this the end of the world? No, absolutely not. This is more so just a sign that, we're in a bear market. We all know we're in a bear market. And, as I was saying here, with the way that this trend is likely going to be playing out, the monthly kind of supports that idea with these long-term moving averages curling over. And maybe Bitcoin would actually end up spending some time at lower levels, right, before coming up again. That is usually just how assets behave below the long-term moving averages. There's a lot of people out there that are just going to tell you that, Bitcoin's going to, we've bottomed and Bitcoin's just going to bounce and recover and go straight to the moon. Well, it's unlikely. Again, when you see the long-term moving averages pointing down, it means we're probably, sort of finding a bottom. Maybe we already found it. Maybe we go a little bit lower later. Maybe, but we're likely near the low and we're likely going to be going sideways for a significant period of time and then recovering going into 2023, right? That is what the monthly moving averages are showing us. That's usually how Bitcoin behaves at this point in the cycle. Also, another thing here is the monthly RSI. This is another pretty telling indicator. What we see is after breaking below that, this is the 2014 chart, after breaking below the 20 MA here, what we see from there is Bitcoin comes up to the 50 level, dumps a little bit more, and reaches about 44. Same thing happens here. We break below the 20 MA in 2018, come to that 50 level, dump a little bit more, and right here, again, 44. 44 on the monthly RSI here, 44 here. And in both of these scenarios, in both of these areas, what is Bitcoin doing? Well, just like over here, when we get below that 50 level, we spend the better part of a year going sideways, and then we recover. 2018, what do we see here? When we get below that 50 level, we spent, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months going sideways and then recovering. So, just like all these previous zones, when we get below the 50, which we're doing right now, we're just now getting below that 50 level. Maybe we come a little bit lower towards that classic 44 level. We're getting there. We're pretty close. Well, what does that mean? Probably multiple months sideways, multiple months to the side. Long-term moving averages are pointing down. So we kind of just maintain this bear market, but more so sideways. That seems to be what the chart is telling me right now. And then look to recover going into 2023. So we do have time to accumulate. And these are the signals that I'm looking at. These are the signals that I'm getting. And I noticed that a lot of people are giving up. A lot of people are getting bored. But guys, every time we fall below the 20 MA on the monthly, we enter the area of maximum opportunity before the rip. 2018, below the 20-month MA, area of maximum opportunity before the rip. All right, guys, guess what? We are there once again. Area of maximum opportunity before the rip. All you got to do, most likely, is just endure a little bit of sideways, right? Maybe we go, maybe we go a little lower or whatever, but ultimately we're looking for sideways before recovery, and that's what the monthly chart is telling me now. Just to recap once again, for this lower term time frame stuff, short term bullish, if we can get above this, red box of resistance, maybe test 37, but the downside pressure does exist likely hold us down a little bit, and then follow those monthly candle signals for some sideways, and then a recovery into 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, join my Patreon if you want to support my work, and I'll see you all in the next video.